Hello, my name's Mark and I'm here with Practical Machinist today to continue writing this program on a seal cap. And today we're going to look at the screw thread. We've got a M20 by 1.5 fine metric screw thread on the front of this part, and we're going to write a G-code program to machine it. Okay, so let's jump in on the first line. So we're starting off with N4, which is a search function, but also used to be a number function. We used to number every line in the old days. Now, not so much. Some machines still require it, but we can use them as search functions. So we can type N4 on the control, push the down arrow on the FANUC control, and it'll search to this line. Then in brackets there, we got the operator's note, not read by the machine, read by the operator, so it knows what this operation is. And that ends in an end of block. All lines always end in an end of block. Okay, so now we can start our safety line. So safety line there, we got G54, which is the datum we are using. We got G21 sets metric units. G80 turns off any active cycles, just in case we stopped a program halfway through. G97 sets the spindle to RPM mode. G90 is absolute mode. And G40 cancels any cut and compensation that might be active. Now, you can add a lot more to this if you require. Okay, so now we're going to do a tool call. So T0404. Pulls in tool 4. Now, some older machines might need MO6 here, some don't, so I've omitted it in this case, because I understand that a lot of machines don't use MO6 here. It's just the one that I used to run by the looks of it. And so that's our tool call. So this brings a tool into the center line, ready to start cutting. Now, if you enjoy my lessons, you can learn more for free over on my website at gcodetutor.com. Just scan this QR code or pop over to gcodetutor.com/free course. And this will give you free full lessons teaching you G-code, machine shop maths, and some manual lathe examples there, some manual lathe turn-ins. So pop over and check out the course. I'm sure you'll get a lot out of it. Okay, so let's carry on. So now we've got to set our spindle speed. So we're setting it to 1200 RPM, and we're using MO3 to set that spindle going in a clockwise direction. If your tools are upside down, you might need MO4 here. Now we're going to go on to the next line where we're going to rapid our tool just off the front face of the part by 5mm. So our Z0 is the front face of the part, so this gives us 5mm before then and 2mm plus on the thread that we're going to cut. So why are we having a bit of a run out? Well, although most machines these days have recurrent ball lead screws that eliminate any backlash, you might find there's still a little bit of play there. Maybe the lead screw's worn, maybe it's a 20-year-old machine. There might be still a little bit of play, even though it's a recurrent ball lead screw. So I always like to give a good run up into the thread. That way it eliminates any backlash. Now, this probably stems from my base as a manual machinist, which is where I started all those years ago. And we do this on a manual machine because there is no recurrent ball lead screws. But it's always good practice. Okay, so now we get to the fun part, the G76 screw cutting cycle. Now this is a 2-line version, by the way, so a lot of machines also use a 1-line version. Okay, so let's take a look at this thread cycle. So we start off there with G76. So this tells the machine that we're going to be doing a screw cutting cycle, and all the information that follows is about that. We've got a long P word there. Now P's and Q's can mean different things, and even in the same block of sections. So we need to understand P's and Q's don't always mean what you think they mean. In this case, we're not calling upon a section of subprogram, we're setting up information for a screw cutting tool. So the 04 there, this is the amount of spring passes that we're going to be doing. So once we're at to size, the tool is going to continue without indexing down 4 more times. And that really cleans up the thread, gets rid of any bad finishes, any burrs, and also makes it more accurate. Because we're taking off very fine amounts for those spring cuts each time. The 00 there that follows that, that's the size of the exit chamfer at the back of the thread. And our 60 there, that's the angle of our thread. Now the Q30 is the minimum cut. Now this is in microns, so that's just over 1,000th of an inch, 25 microns to a thou roughly. So the minimum cut is going to be just over a thou there. And the R0.2 there, that's our finishing allowance. That's how much we're leaving on. So now we go into the second line. Now, so this is a 2-line version of the G76. There's also a 1-line version that some older machines may use. So the second line of the G76 here, again, we start with G76, so the machine knows what we're up to. Our X dimension there is the core diameter of this thread. Now, this can be controversial because with threads, it's actually a range and not a precise number for the core diameter, and that's because there's different types of threads, different fits. We've got different radiuses on the crest and on the core of those teeth there. So this is the upper limit, so I'm going tight, so I might have to bring this down a little bit to get that to fit the gauge. So the X dimension on the core thread there, we've got to watch because although our charts tell us one size, it can actually be arranged dependent on the fit. Okay, so now we got the depth of the thread and we're using Z for that. So this Z depth here shows us how deep our thread is. So we're going to 11 mil depth, but because we've got that 1 mil recess in the back there, I'm coming off 0.2 just so we don't hit that face. If your tool's set up properly, you can go straight to 11 mil, just kiss that face and it won't leave a mark. But I'm leaving 0.2 off because we got that recess. I don't need to stress too much about getting that Z perfect when I set my tool up, especially if your tool setter is a little bit inaccurate. Next we have our P and Q values. Now again, they mean something totally different on this part of this cycle. So the P value here is the depth of thread, and the Q is the depth of the first cut. Now, these are both in microns also. And then finally, F is our pitch of thread, not the feed rate, but it's the pitch of thread. So we're using a 1.5 pitch, so that goes in our feed rate there. So with our screw threads finished, we can now move the tool away to a safe position. So I'm coming up to X25, Z5 off the face of the job there. I'm switching over to G00, so we're rapid into that point. So this is a safe place away from the part to put the tool once we've finished our thread. So with the tool in a safe place, we can now send it home. There's a few ways we can do that. We can use G28, but in this case, I'm using G53. So G53 is our machine datum. It's usually where the tool changes, but not always. So double check your machine does this. And we send it to X and Z0. Also turn off the coolant at this point with MO9. MO5 stops our spindle, MO1 is our optional stop, so we can stop it here to check that thread, which is very highly recommended. Once the thread's running fine, I would still stop it once every 3 to 5 parts, just to double check so we don't scrap a part in the machine. So that is our program for the screw thread for the seal cap, and next time we're going to be going around and parting this off before we flip it over and start working on the internal sides. So that's how you write a screw cutting program with G code to turn a screw thread on the end of here. Now you can see it's very few lines to be able to achieve this. So it's much quicker to write this out than it would be to model this on CAD/CAM. By the time I model a thread and the part and everything else and sort the tooling out, I can write these few lines of code much quicker. Normally before the CAD/CAM operators even finished his coffee. So if you enjoy this video and you want to learn more about G-code programming, computer-aided design, machine shop maths, manual lathe skills, I've got a course for it all over on my website at gcodetutor.com. And if you want the slides for this video to see this program, you can download that below on my website from the Let's Program page and link below in the description for that as well.